just kill. I just wanted to get rid of it. And why I never talk about these really, really emotional times is because no one wants to be negative about this illness. It's already negative enough. Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a Lyme talk. I know a lot of you guys love these. This is mainly what my channel is about, a Lyme talk. That's why I started this channel, to bring awareness about Lyme disease and having an invisible illness. Now, I was recently looking through my computer and I was looking at all the past videos from each year. I like to do that. I honestly, for 6 years, I've had this illness and I never documented anything of the illness because I didn't want to be reminded of the bad things that were happening to me each year with my illness. But last year and the year before that, I actually changed that and I wanted to show the bad symptoms and even video record through the bad times. That way I could really see whether it was in my head or whether I was really having a hard time. I don't know. I just wanted to have a documentary to see how I've progressed or how I've decreased each year with my illness. And by doing that, I was able to find that there's a pattern that starts every single year. But with me specifically, my Lyme disease goes into remission when the bug dies. So the bug normally comes out from spring to fall, and from fall and winter, it's gone. It basically hibernates, which is why my remission is normally from September time period. Sometimes it's a little late, so I think I started going into remission around October-ish. And then now going into like February, March, it's starting to kind of show symptoms again, but it won't really trigger me until most likely end of March. And yeah, so I started doing videos and I started looking into what was happening to me. And I noticed that I did a March vlog, which is right there. I did a March vlog about having the illness, but I talked about some of the things that I was going through. I didn't show it. And I think that's what makes the difference, is not talking about it, but actually showing what's going on. I do want to show some of the crazy things that happened to me last year. 2018, I had headaches that were top of the line. Ibuprofen, hydrocodone, oxycodone, CBD, nothing was touching those headaches. There were times where I was in bed, awake 24 hours, still having to go to work the next day, and in massive pain. We found out a clinic facility, which I will name. I am thankful for the fact that they have given me my diagnosis, but I do not like the fact that they were so doctor-driven and not patient-driven. So I went to Invita. Invita is a Lyme specialist in Arizona that is hugely known to cure your Lyme disease and help it go into remission for years. They have all these videos on their site that say that, yeah, after going through all these treatments, I've been cured for 7 years. All of this stuff went away. It helped me. You have to go through a huge diagnosis test, which makes sense. You have to do that. Their test is the IGeneX, which you guys can look up in other doctor forums that are probably not as expensive. It tells you from your fecal, your urination, your saliva, and your blood if you have the illness. For you guys that don't know Lyme disease, there's a video that I talk about what Lyme disease is, the symptoms that you can find, but a lot of people don't know that the bug isn't just, it's not like you have a form of cancer and the cancer is just, for instance, breast cancer, and you go to a doctor, oh, this is breast cancer. No, Lyme disease is one of those illnesses where it transforms, it twists, and it sheds. So every moment, every second, every minute, this illness is shedding in your body. So it's much, much harder to detect. I give props to Envita because Envita definitely did catch and find that I did have Lyme disease when a lot of other doctors, 6 to 10 other doctors, couldn't find it. I'm not happy about the bill that I got. They said that it'll cost you $6,000 for the testing, and then all the rest of it should go through your insurance. I walked out of there with $9,000 in debt because of just a testing. A testing's not going to cure you. A testing is proof that you're sick. A testing is proof that you are having an illness that is invisible to the government and that you need to get treated for. Envita then stated that I needed to go on not so many supplements because supplements they help with building up your immune system, but supplements do not help with killing the illness. And so I started taking supplements. I feel like I didn't talk about this, but I had Candida. Candida is very hard to deal with. For 2 months straight, I kept getting sick on and off from January to March. I was constantly sick. I had the flu. I had strep throat. I had mycoplasma pneumoniae from January to March. For you guys that don't know what mycoplasma pneumoniae is, that video will help you to discover what mycoplasma pneumoniae is. I was sick. I tried so many different medications to the point that nothing really helped me. I did do a video of what helped me with my mycoplasma pneumoniae, but once the mycoplasma pneumoniae went away, I got sick of something else, and that's a whole another story. Once the sickness months went away because I was working a full-time job. So for you guys that didn't know, last year I was working 10-hour shifts every single day, Monday through Friday. Sometimes Saturdays I would have a half day. And I worked an hour away from where I lived, an hour and like 20 minutes away from where I lived. And I had my car during the hot season, which was basically end of February to May. I did not have AC. I could not get my car fixed for AC because I was paying all of these bills for my health. Now, imagine you living an hour away from your job, driving in the heat, which is a known thing that Lymies cannot handle. I cannot handle heat at all. I will pass out. So imagine driving an hour away from home to work, working 10 hours, and then having to drive back in 110 degrees. Hot air blowing, hot air in the car. No way of savior with that at all. And then having to come home and trying to be safe, trying to come home. There were moments and times which I talked about briefly in my May video about passing out behind the wheel, but I didn't go in depth about that because I can't explain what I went through because it was so traumatic. Falling asleep and not knowing where you are. Now, when I tell you, like, not knowing where I am, I literally do not know where I am or what I'm doing. I say it's passing out behind the wheel because it's the only way that I can describe it as. I think the proper term for this is manic dissociative disorder that I would achieve when driving. A lot of Lyme patients have said that they've gone through this, and it's so crazy because I actually put this in my support group, and I asked, has anyone ever had a manic episode of having dissociative disorder? And if you have, what do you do to help you with that? Because when you are going through a dissociative disorder, you are gone. You're gone. it's really supernatural. Like it's you're not there anymore. You are not in your body. You do not see your body. You're just not there. It's like your body's an autopilot, but you're not there. It's so freaking crazy. And sorry, Arden, I know you're sleeping. My dog's like, can you please stop screaming because I'm taking a nap. It's freaking crazy. That happened to me so many times before I started carpooling with my friend, but that happened to me so many times to the point that it was extremely unsafe for me to drive to work. I had so much crap from my employers. I had so much crap from my doctors. I tried to tell my doctors to write me a disability report because I couldn't do anything, and I had the paperwork to prove it, but Invita didn't want that under their suit. So they would ignore my messages, they would ignore my contacts, they wouldn't tell me why. I got into a huge argument with one of the nurses because she wasn't responding to my emails, she wasn't responding to my calls. And I had to call her out on it. I had to call another member and tell them that she wasn't doing her job. It was just a hot mess. And my job was saying, you can't take off these certain days, we can't give this to you off. And it was like there was no help for me last year with my illness. And when you're going through something like this, it's already hard enough to go through it and have to work and have to pay off your illness and everything like that. It's so freaking hard. And then when people aren't understanding about the illness, they don't know the illness, and they just think that you're making it up in your head and etc., it makes it so much harder. And I eventually wanted to just kill the virus. I wanted to kill it. I just wanted to get rid of it. I couldn't go through this anymore. If I'm gonna be paying this much money, I just want to go the fastest route and get it done. I was paying over $600 a week just to get my freaking IVs. $600 a week, guys. Oh. Who can afford that? Who can afford $600 a week? Getting that done for something that you can't. Insurance does not cover for an invisible illness. Doctors do not believe that Lyme disease exists. So the only person you can go to is a specialist who doesn't take insurance, you pay outright, and you are basically working for your bills. That's not paying for rent, that's not paying for food, that's not paying for the clothes on your back, that's not even paying for the gas to even get to the doctor's office. Last year was a really rough year for me. I am deathly afraid of needles. I am terrified of needles. So when going to get these needles twice a week and staying in an IV, getting an IV twice a week, because of my circumstances and how far I lived from this place, I had to drive 2.5 hours just to get home. So I would drive an hour to work. I would then go to my doctor's appointment, and I would stay there for an hour and a half getting pumped with IVs and all my stuff. I would feel nauseous, sick, and really, honestly, if we're being 100% honest in this video, I would rather have just been put to sleep than to go through what I went through. And going through that twice a week and then having to drive 2 hours back home in nothing but traffic was terrible. doctors in the Lyme world, because they got their money, they can dip. And when that happens, you are SOL. Like, you are gone. Like, you're done. You're when your doctor vanishes, the one that actually believes you and understands you and has the proof of it and everything, and they don't answer you, they don't respond to you, when they're gone, you're back rogue, and that's like the worst feeling ever, of not knowing what to do and feeling sick and helpless and emotional and just wanting to basically die. Statistics show that many people die from Lyme disease. And it's not because of the effects of the sickness. It's not because of the fact that you're getting sicker. It's so hard to get better with Lyme disease, to the fact that people commit suicide over this illness. Lyme disease is the most known invisible illness that people commit suicide for, because it's so much. It's so much. And the reason why I never talk about these really, really emotional times is because no one wants to be negative about this illness. It's already negative enough. I am such a positive junkie. I like to laugh. When I'm in pain, I just start laughing. When I'm in pain, I want to get up and I want to dance and I want to do something, because I don't want to think about it. I don't want to get into that emotional state where I'm depressed, and I don't want to do anything, because then when you do that, the illness wins. Like, you're done after that. Last year's symptoms, because I want to continue to make these yearly symptoms. Last year's symptoms, I got sick over 4 times. I had headaches. I had pain from my head down to my spine, all the way from my legs and my feet and my arms and my hands. I had slight seizures last year. I had massive IBS symptoms. And I had a doctor. I had 2 doctors last year, and both of them are gone. This year, I am formulating the symptoms of massive thyroid pain and extreme sensitivity to cold. Right now, it is 70 degrees in my house. My hands are freezing cold and my feet are numb. I sleep with a heating pad in my bed because I am so cold. I have to take painkillers and CBD, whatever you want to call it, when my thyroid hurts, and that only slightly touches it. Right now, I am on a journey of finding the best endocrinologist, because I went down this huge rabbit hole just a few weeks ago with getting an ultrasound and getting blood drawn for my thyroid and showing no symptoms of it. And I know it's because of this illness. I know it's because of Lyme disease. So I state to them I have proof that I have Lyme disease, and I want you guys to check me in depth, because the illness will hide the issues that I am having with you right now. And they take me through this rabbit hole every single time, and it makes me not even want to try to go through doctors. It makes me not even want to do it. But yeah. I just wanted to be open and honest on this channel, The only reason why I did this video is because I only wanted to make one negative video about the truth about having Lyme disease. The illness affects every single Lyme patient differently. That is my truth. And I want to say a massive thank you to the ones who have reached out to me in emails, in the comments, and etc. about this illness. I haven't gotten any updates from you guys, so if you guys do have any updates of how you're feeling, that would help me out too. That way I know if these were helpful advices or if you found something different. Like, please, if you find something different, please put that in the comments below, because we're here to help each other. Thank you so much to everyone who has supported this channel. And I will see you guys with a happier video in the next one. Bye. Oh, squidge.